What's up, everybody? It's Gino coming at you to break down UFC Fight Night. This is a late one for the East Coasters. We're probably not starting until like 10:30, 10 o'clock-ish, first fight. We have Lewis versus Spivak. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of conflicted because I don't even think Lewis is worth staying up that late for at this point in his career. After watching Pavlovich just work him, I know early stoppage, whatever, it was getting stopped regardless. He got dominated. Anyways, okay, we'll get back to the breakdowns. If you have not done this before I get into breakdowns, hit my channel with a like, hit it with a subscribe. We're growing every week, slowly but surely, and I appreciate all y'all's help. I appreciate the positive feedback I'm getting. I appreciate the feedback that I'm getting that may not be positive because it's helping me get better. Okay, all right. First, we have Sergey Spivak versus Derek Lewis. I am going to go Sergey Spivak, and I'm going to be heavy on Sergey Spivak. I know the crowd has been talking about Derek Lewis and like his knockout potential. I think we're past that. I know he lost weight. I know he looks good, but I don't think that's going to save him. If you look at Spivak, he did have that round one loss to Aspinall, but Aspinall is a dude. Spivak, in the showings I've seen him, he's been 5-1. In those wins, he's looked good. He can wrestle. It'd be interesting to see if he's, especially now that Lewis is 20 pounds lighter, if he's going to get him to the ground, wrestle him, gets those takedowns. He could score really well in this spot. And I think he wins, and I do think he scores well in a 5-round fight. I think he will either accumulate enough volume or he'll hit that under on the 1.5, which the over 1.5 is plus 100. So the play is Spivak, and I'm going to be playing him Spivak, KO, TKO, and I am going to have elevated ownership on both fighters, but my lean is going to be on Spivak. And I say that, but let me wait. I got to take a look and see what Derek Lewis's ownership is, because if he's something ridiculous like 35%, I'm going to go under and be like 20%. Devin Clark, Da Eun Jung. Okay, I'm going Da Eun Jung, and here's why. He's got the control time upside. He scored 111 and 106 in his Draftkings points in his last 2 wins. He's 3-1 in his last 4 fights. He has so many finishes over his career, and I think this is a good spot for him to do it again. The under 2.5 is minus 165. I just don't think Devin Clark is that good. I was just talking to some buddies yesterday who were asking me about it. I think Devin Clark is getting fed to Da Eun Jung. I think that, I think they're being very intentional with how they're setting up these fights for these fighters, because it's the road to UFC, and I do think they are trying to promote some of our better Asian fighters, and I think this is a spot where Da Eun Jung is a good fighter, and he's fighting a guy, Devin Clark, who's fought names, but I just don't think he's that good, and I think he gets a win. It's going to be Jung or pass, because I think Clark just pins him against the cage and like greases his way to a decision if he wins. All right, Ivanov versus Tybura. I'm going Tybura, and it's going to be Tybura or pass. Tybura, I like him. If you look at it, he lost to Volkov by decision. He has a combination of KO and TKO wins in his last 6 wins, which is pretty good. I mean, there are areas where he doesn't have enough volume. He scores a decision, and he doesn't score well. But my thing is that over 2.5 is minus 230, which makes me not want to mess with it a whole bunch, because Tybura, it's not like he has 2 to 3 takedown upside, but it's not like he has a ton. But he could get some takedowns, control time, score well in a decision. So with that being said, I'm going to make sure I have some Tybura, and I'm not going to have Ivanov, because he'll be low volume, it'll be sloppy, it'll be ugly. He scored 64 DraftKings points. That was his highest win so far since being on slates. So no, bye-bye. We're going to go Tybura, and it's going to be Tybura or pass. I'm not paying that much for a 7,900 guy who doesn't score over 660 points. All right, Kyle Nelson versus Doo-Hoo Choi. We're going to go Choi, and it's going to be Choi or pass. I think this is another situation where Nelson's getting... I know, there's a lot of people that like Nelson in this spot. There's a lot of people that like Nelson in this spot. I just don't think he's very good. Again, I think he's getting fed here to a Choi. Yeah, Choi's 3-3, but I think that they're setting him up, and if you look at his wins, he had lost 3 straight, and he had won 3 straight. So I mean, he's shown that streakiness. And if you look at his last 3 wins, they're 129, 107, and 102. I think in this spot he's fought hard guys, went on a 3-fight losing streak. I think they're giving him a gift here in Kyle Nelson. So it's gonna be Choi, and it's gonna be Choi or pass. Adam Fugit or Kinoshita. I'm gonna go Fugit. This is my kill shot. Okay. I really think, this is the one spot. I know I'm saying everybody's getting fed, but I think Fugit, probably the same rationale, but he's lost three, and here's what I'm saying. He's lost three sanctioned matches by finish. I think that's where they think Kinoshita can get him here. But here's the thing. His Fugit's five most recent wins have been by submission or KO, TKO. It's 7,100, especially if he can hit the under 2.5 or maybe the under 1.5 and get it in the first round somehow. He will score well, and he's 18% projected ownership. I love this play. And let's talk about ownership leverage for a second. When I say I'm going to elevate on somebody, that doesn't mean I'm going to be 90% Fugit. Okay, if I'm looking at him and he's 18%, I may double and go 40%. I may go 30%, but I get leverage by going over the field, but it's not going to be something crazy. That's just something to keep in mind, because I was talking to somebody last week, and they were talking about, like, oh, yeah, I elevated him too, and I went 80%. So I wanted to visit that and just talk about that, because you don't, especially with these low-owned guys, you don't have to just invest all your 150 to get leverage on them. If he's 18%, you can get 30%, and you've got 12% ownership leverage. You got Jubilee versus Saragi. I am going Saragi, but I'm all in on this fight. There's a high chance of violence. The under 2.5 is minus 130. I think somebody gets a finish here. You have one fighter who's 8,200. You have one fighter who's $8,000. One's 20% projected ownership. One's 25% projected ownership. I like this fight. I think there's a good chance somebody could end up optimal. I'm all in at this point. And with these two guys, they're both relatively low owned, so I'll probably split them 50-50, and then that gives me a nice little leverage on them. Or I could still say, I'm saying right now I'm going all in, but I haven't finished. I play with my lineups. I could end up going like 80% of my lineups and then going 40-40, and then I have leverage on the guys. All right, Zha Yi versus Ji Yong Lee. We're going to go Ji Yong Lee. I'm going to get elevated ownership on both guys. Again, it'll be very reasonable. But if you look, the under 1.5 is plus 105. You have $8,900. You have a $7,300 fighter. The $7,300 in Yi, he could have a submission here, and that's what I like. He's like one of my dogs that I am giving a chance for Zha Yi. I see how close the names are, so I don't want to get confusing. But he's got a submission spot here. But then you go look at Yong Lee. He is an early finish candidate as well, because they both are explosive and get finishes. And I kind of look at this like the Dana White Contester Series, like where they're just going to go in and just go hard, and somebody may die, or somebody may just fall out. So the under 1.5 is plus 105, so that tells me there's a good chance for this to end early. You got Nakamura versus Kazama. Let's not even talk too much about this. He's $6,900. Nakamura is minus 435. Now, I don't bet him. His ownership is 42%, which makes me want to kind of go under him. So I may go 30%. Again, that's leverage, because I think there's other spots where we could, maybe get a little bit higher. You got Hyun Sun Park versus Zi Yuong Choi. So here's what we got. We got the over 2.5 is minus 220. If you look at 7-0 Sung Park, he has 6 wins, and they've all been submission or KO, TKO. If you look over at Choi, several decision wins. He's got low striking, some takedown potential, but I don't love him. But the thing is, Park, with those finishes, especially in the climate of this, I think he could get an early finish and score well and then land optimal. I will have good ownership on both fighters. I haven't looked at their ownerships yet upon making this video, but I will do that, and then that'll have some weight on what I do. Mandy Baum versus Ji Yeon Kim. So this is cool because you got Kim, okay, not good on paper when it comes to being a $99,000 fighter, but I mean, I know it's minus 330 for the fight not to go to decision, but I don't think it's impossible for her to get a finish and score well, or just something happening. Like, what if Mandy Baum pokes her in the eye and DQ, and then she scores over 100 points, and nobody played her. There's 10%. All I'm saying is I could get leverage with her at 15% and not kill all my lineups. So I think that's what I'm going to do with Kim. Baum, if she's low owned, I'll probably get a little leverage with her, but I'm not going to go crazy. I just want leverage. I don't need to overly invest in these fights. They're low owned for a reason because they're probably not going to score well. But if you want to get leverage on the case that they do, it's fighting. It's the fight game. Anything could happen. Mandy Baum can come in there and knock her out. It's women's MMA. All right. You got Jun Yuan Park versus Dennis Tululin. I'm going to go Park. I'm going to be elevated ownership on both fighters because I think there's a good chance that one of these guys takes the other one out. Under 2.5, minus 115. Again, same spot. Very similar fights throughout this card. There's like toss-ups, especially with these knockouts. You don't know like who will really pull it out. So I am going to go elevated on both guys. I do like this fight. So I'll look at ownership and see how I can get some leverage on that. And then you have Tara versus Aguilar, Jesus Aguilar. It's going to be Tara. I don't fight $6,000 fighters. It's a plan that has served me well, and it's like, that's fine. If I 1 week out of 15 weeks, a $6,000 fighter ends up in the optimal, but the other 14 weeks I do well, I'm okay with that. I mean, it makes for a really boring 1 week or 2 weeks, but you know, that's fine. All right. So, guys, hey, I appreciate you hanging in there with me. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter. Also, if you have not done so, I know football's gearing down, but we're about to gear right back up for NASCAR. We'll do UFC all year. The DFS Army is where it's at. Use my promo code DFLGino for 10% off for a lifetime, and then they always run a special, so give it a shot. The link's in the bio. And again, hit me up if you got any questions. Thanks for hanging in, guys, and have a good one.